be starting in a few minutes. Okay, everyone. So we shall get started. 1 second. Can you see my screen? Okay, I can see that everyone can hear. Perfect. So let's get started. Before we do, I would love to ask everyone, how is the bootcamp going so far? As this is the last day, so how was it, guys? I really hope that you found it informative and fun. Perfect, perfect. Hala, Yaman, Hiba, Mayasem, White Carpet. Welcome everyone. Hassan Suhail, Ala Abdullah, Amina Tijani. Perfect. I'm so happy that you guys are making so much benefit from it. But hey, at the end of the day, you guys chose to be here. We didn't choose you, you guys chose us. And you are very smart for that. You decided to stick through for over 2 weeks of activities, of projects, of classwork. You guys stuck through, and you should be very proud of yourself. Alright, so today I'm giving you a very light session, nothing difficult, nothing complicated, just something very straight to the point and something really fun as well. And I will not be coding alone. I really prefer if we will be coding together. So I will be working on this notebook. Meanwhile, you guys can work with me on this Google Colab. Right now, I'll be sharing the link with you. So I would love to ask everyone to connect to this Google Colab and try to connect and make a copy. So you can go here. I made it so you can just go here to file and then save a copy in Drive. Okay, so you can create a copy for yourself and start messing with the file with me. So please verify once you guys do. Did you manage to connect? Is the link working? Is there a problem with the collab? Okay, I can see that some people got N. Alright, so uh, today we'll be talking about AI API wrapper, right? So is this general for only AI? Not really. You can use the technique that I'm about to show you pretty much for any API. But today I will just show you how we're gonna be using it for APIs that are concerned with AI. So before we dive in, I would love to introduce myself. I'm Hassan Shkoukani. I'm a software engineer at NEU, founder of Sprint OS, and I'm the host of this bootcamp along with Sarah. Uh, I build scalable systems, ship fast, and I love teaching practical AI. I've been in the field for a while now, and I enjoy sharing my knowledge with people the most, to be honest. Uh, I only started this journey like, let's say, few months ago with AI, and since then I really wanted to start sharing the same knowledge I learned with people because I found it extremely fun. Like compared to what I used to code before, pretty much front end and back end, I found AI much more interactive and much more complicated in a way that's challenging. I don't know if you guys get me, but since then I really had the idea of a bootcamp for AI, and because of you guys and because of Sarah, of course, this became a reality. I would love to thank both of you and Code with Sarah Association for making this all happen and to be as successful as it really is today. So through Sprint OS, I helped some developers and teams to move from the idea to prototype to production. So you guys are like you at the end, you are creating projects from, let's say, basic ideas you discussed a week ago when we started setting you in groups, and now you are applying everything that you've been learning during the bootcamp into a real world project, right? So again, you should be really proud of yourself, and this is just the start, right? You can feel free to ask me about AI integration, rapid prototyping, and developer education. At the end, I'm using AI to develop myself as a software engineer, and use AI to improve my front end and back end game, right? So today I will show you how you can actually use it in your websites, on your apps, for example, and different systems, right? And that's with the help of API calls, right, to AI or LLM models essentially. So you can connect to me on LinkedIn. This is a link, right? I hope that everyone is okay with the collab. Okay, perfect. So make sure to join me on Google Collab because today's vibe is it works on my machine and now it will work on yours too. So I don't know if you guys know that meme where let's say you created this project, it works on your laptop, you go send it to your friend or to the company you are working at, and it crashes on their end. So you just be like, oh, but it worked on my machine. So today on Google Colab, we're gonna be coding together, so everyone will have the libraries pre-installed, and we will be sharing an environment that is very interactive, very easy to process instead of local, right? So let's just dive into API wrappers. So what is an API wrapper? It's a convenience layer around an external API. So it's like you have a cake, right? And you want to put some stuffing inside it. So you're wrapping it with cake. I don't know how to say it. It's like you have layers and you're putting something in between. So we have an API, we're putting it inside a wrapper, so we can simplify our repeated API calls, abstract our authentication endpoints and parameters, handle errors and responses uniformly, and make your code cleaner and reusable. So instead of fetching to an API every time, we are just using the same code over and over and over in a much simpler way. So you'll see that in a bit, obviously. So why would we use an API wrapper for AI APIs? So we would need API keys, headers, endpoints. So it doesn't make sense to keep writing the same code over and over and over, right? So less code is definitely more professional and less time wasting. So that's one point. And another point is the input output formatting can be standardized in one place. So we will be having a general case instead of just making different codes every time, and sometimes we might make mistakes even. We can just like go write the general format once and keep using it over and over, right? And we can easily swap underlying API or add features like caching or batching. So we can modify it very easily, and it will then, like for example, if you are working on some use cases and you decided to suddenly go switch one of the features, you would have to go switch it on every use case. But if you were using a general method, right, you will just go change it, and it will automatically be changed for all of them. And at the end, it's better for error handling and logging. So one question: so far so good? Is everything going well? Are you guys following along? So one question for you guys is, what do you think an API wrapper is? When the name comes to your head, what comes to your mind? Let's see some comments. My Wi-Fi is a little slow. It's okay. So what comes to your head once you guys hear about API wrappers? Frozen. Oh, is my stream okay? One second, let me check. Thank you so much, Ahmed. It combines multiple APIs, maybe on different sources. We can say that, okay. Thank you so much, Hussein, for your contribution. What else? I want to hear from the rest of you guys. AI that trap. Well, Aisha, unfortunately, I don't think that's right. Um, okay, so the stream is fine. Thank you so much, Amina. Alright, so moving on, I will be teaching you the recipe. Not for agrah bibati, but for the API wrappers. So, first, but before we get into this, I would like to say that you guys need to just follow along. You don't have to understand all of the code. This is just like basic object-oriented programming from Python. I will explain things in a very, let's say, surface level way, so you would have to understand. I will not complicate it, okay? So, first we need two functions as a start when we are creating a class-based component. So we need an initializing function for the class, which will have the API key, your API key for Gemini or OpenAI or whatever model you're going to be using, and then the AI model, and then the temperature. The temperature basically controls the randomness of the generated text. So we will put a default parameter at 0.5. So here we will be changing the API key. For example, today you want to use one of the models, like 2.0 Flash Gemini. Tomorrow you, for example, upgraded. So now you're using a different model. So you will change your API key and AI model without having to change all of your code, right? That's one of the like best things ever. So you don't have to go change it. You just have one general function that you can just call once, and that's it. You're good to go. Then we will define a function that has the name generate text. You can name it whatever, it doesn't matter. So it will have access to these attributes, and here we will be passing a prompt. So let's say you are on ChatGPT and you are asking it something. That's a prompt, right? I don't know if you guys attended Sarah's session about prompt engineering. So there are a lot of techniques to write your prompt in an efficient way so the LLM would be able to understand it, right? So here you can pass your prompt as a user, right? After that, you have to understand that we have two different kinds of wrappers. So we have function-based wrappers and we have class-based wrappers. So function-based wrappers are just standalone functions. Meanwhile, classes are, let's say, functions that are encapsulated with logic inside of a class. And then you have to call it and create an instance out of it, right? So if you are using a function-based wrapper, you will be mostly working with simple scripts. One second. Simple scripts, CLI tools or notebooks, something simple essentially. But when you are bigger projects, it's better to use class-based wrappers because they are better with apps, reusable libraries, large-scale projects, or even creating modules. For state management, functions are stateless. Parameters are passed in each call. Meanwhile, in class-based wrapper, we are storing the attributes. So here we stored the API key and the AI model, and we will be using it over and over every time we are using our function, which is generate text. Meanwhile, if we are just concerned with one generate text function, we will be having to pass the API key every single time, which is too much, right? So classes are better when you are working with better things. It's just showing the loading. Huh? Wait. You guys can see, right? A translator between the code and the remote service. That's correct, Sarah. Okay, sorry. For a sec, I thought that you guys couldn't see anything. Okay. Regarding reusability, when it comes to a function, it's moderate. We can use it over and over, but still, it's not as good as a class. Classes are very reusable. They have multiple methods and extensions. So when you have multiple functionalities, multiple features to have in mind, you can definitely consider class-based wrappers. But if you want to do something really quick, stick to functions. For scalability, functions are limited because you are just probably creating one function for each feature. Meanwhile, for classes, you might have multiple features again, so it's very scalable. You can add features, you can extend it and make it much bigger, right? For readability, function-based wrappers are very beginner-friendly. They are just like a regular Python code, a Python function code that has some logic inside it. But now the logic is basically fetching to an API from AI and then waiting for the results and returning it, right? Meanwhile, for class-based, they are structured, great for modular apps, so they are a little more complicated, but they serve better, let's say, functionality, right? And as I said, they are more scalable. Okay, for extensibility, functional functions are harder to expand, and classes are easier to add new methods and features, as I mentioned earlier. For use cases, a function based is probably for one utility or notebook, meanwhile class based are for production level LLM toolkit, right? Okay, let me go through it one more time. Okay, so in short words, function based wrappers are just like regular Python functions that have calls to APIs that use AI, right? Class-based wrappers are like the same functions but inside of a class, where the attributes are passed to the initialization function. So I'll show you that in the practical part in a bit, right? But I just want you to understand that function-based wrappers are just not very scalable. They serve one task usually, and you will have to be passing your parameters every time. Meanwhile, for classes, you can extend them as much as you want. You can add new features, methods, and stuff like that. Meanwhile, but they are a little more complicated. So it really depends on your use case whether to use this one or this one. So far so good, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Alright, moving on. So for function-based wrappers, we're gonna be importing requests and OS. Now on your collab version, actually let me show this on the collab version because you guys wouldn't understand it that easily on my Jupyter. Alright, so here I imported my Gemini API key. So let me show you very quickly how to get a Gemini API key. Let me pass the link to you. Gemini API, wait. So you can easily access their portal. I'm using Gemini for today because it's free, it's fast enough, and it's best for testing, right? But you guys can feel free to, for example, get an OpenAI API key, let's say, or DeepSeek, or whatever LLM you are suitable with. So I just got here. I can explore the models in Google AI Studio. 1 second, it's loading. Is everything going well? Where? Just okay, just change it to API, no problem. Okay, so once you get here, you can mess with Gemini and click here to get an API key. So once I click here, I can go to create an API key. You can give it a name and everything and get the key and copy it. After you copy it, you can go to your Google Colab, click on the key button and add a Gemini key. So here I have a secret called Gemini underscore API. I actually called it APY, no problem. But and it has the value. The value is basically the API key. So let me just pause a minute until you guys have your API key ready. So let me send you the link. 1 second. Okay, so make sure to copy the link that I sent you. Get your API key, and once you guys are ready, let me know. If you are unable to do so, it's alright. Just try to follow along. Okay, so moving on. I defined my API key here. I gave notebook access to the key. And now I use this snippet from google.colab, import user data, and I got the API key. Now, it's in a variable called key. Now I ran it, and it's defined. My Wi-Fi is a little slow, so I don't think I'll be able to run much. Okay, see, now it's ready. Now we have the key installed. Now, I imported requests. Requests is a library that fetches APIs. So it's like you want to use someone's code on their own website. So they provide you an API service where you can call them, like you can call their functions and get answers. So we're gonna be calling Gemini to get answers from it using its generating content function, right? So I defined my API key. I defined my AI model. and some temperature, and now I created a function. So I'll be passing a prompt to it, the API key, and the AI model, and the temperature, and the max tokens. So far so good, right? I'm checking whether my key is there. If I don't have a key, I will raise a value error where I need a key, because we can't really access Gemini unless we have the key, right? Can you repeat how to get the API? Okay, so very quickly, just go click on the website I sent you, and you will find a button up, sorry, explore models in Google AI Studio, then a button up that says get API key. Once you get there, you can easily create a free API key for testing for the 2.0 flash or 2.5 flash model. Okay, let me see. Please repeat how to get the API. Okay, moving on. Now I have this API URL. I will also send it to you so you can access. Now I really hope that you guys are following along with the notebook. Now you will be passing your AI model to the link and your key. You'll create a header, a payload. The payload is basically the prompt. This is just like this is copy pasting from Gemini. You don't really have to understand every part of it. You just need to understand that you need to define a contents block, inside of it parts, and inside of it text. And inside it you can pass your prompt, the user prompt. Okay, after that you'll just go create a post request using requests to that URL with the headers, which is basically JSON data, and the payload. So you'll be sending this to that URL, and you wait for a response to be installed in response. If there was any issue, it will raise for status and create it will raise an exception essentially. Otherwise, it will return a JSON data. We will extract it and get the text and return it. So if we run this, we defined our function. Now, and if we call it, and let's say we wrote hello for the prompt. For the AI model, we chose Gemini 2.0 Flash, and we left the API key as is. We didn't define it, and the temperature as is, and max tokens as is. And we ran this. We get hello, how can I help you today? So this is basically an answer from Gemini to us. So far so good. I hope you guys are following up with me. Okay, so as you can see here, we are passing the API key, we are passing the AI model, the temperature every time. That's too much work, right? So here comes the class-based wrappers, and now you will understand why they are much simpler when it comes to this. So we are importing requests again. We are creating two functions. So the first function is an initialization that stores the API key, the AI model, and the temperature, and the URL. These will be called every single time whenever we use the prompting function, essentially. So if we just define them as attributes and store them for usage, it will be much faster to go back to them, and we will not have to pass them every time. Here, we are just passing the prompt and the max tokens. And max tokens is the default value. For prompt, we will be changing it every time. We will check if we have the API key, and then we will do the same thing. Headers, payload with the prompt. We post a request, raise for status, wait for the JSON data. So just like in the function, but here we got we got rid of the attributes that we were passing before, and we will not be concerned with them every time. So if we run this and we create an instance and we generate text, hello, what is the capital of Germany? So the capital of Germany is Berlin. This is a response from them, from Gemini essentially. So let's say we want to write something else. For example, AI.generate text. Let's say how many mountains are there in the world, and we run it. It will also work, and we are using the same API key. We are saying we're using the same AI model. We are using the same temperature and the same URL. We didn't pass it in both times. Meanwhile, for the function, we would have to pass it. Here we are just concerned with the prompt, so that's much faster. Okay, so I want to ask you guys, do you understand so far? Do you have any questions? Yes, Hassan. Okay, Heba said yes. I don't know if you guys refer bias to the having a question or understanding. Everything is clear. Okay, perfect. So, moving on, let's talk a little about abstraction. So here, we defined one function that does one thing. Just generate a prompt. What if we just go create a function that is a boilerplate for the whole thing? So here we are it's like almost the same thing, but we are sending a prompt now. We are not only generating text. So what if we wanted to customize what we are doing a little bit? So here we can define other methods that do other things. For example, generate text, summarize, translate, and extract keywords. So what's going on here? So basically, if we don't do anything and we just send a call to self dot underscore send underscore prompt, we are just generating text. If you don't really specify anything, it will just go generate text. But if you ask it to summarize the following text and add it to the prompt, now we are asking it to summarize. We are playing with the prompt. We are engineering the prompt. If we add an attribute, if we add a parameter to choose a language, and we ask in the prompts to go translate my text to a different language, and we send a prompt with this extra part of the prompt, now it will go translate it. It will not just generate text. Okay, at the end we are generating text every time, but at some point we wouldn't just want basic text. Maybe we want to do something with the text. For example, summarize it, translate it, expand it, or extract keywords, or do something with the text essentially, right? Not just go and generate it normally. Here we are extracting keywords. So we have text. We are asking it extract key concepts and keywords from the following. And we pass the text again. So we are customizing it essentially. And they all fall under this protected method send prompt. That's why we added an underscore. So this is like a template, a generic template, and these are functions that call to it and customize it. So when we run this, and then we create an instance and we try to generate text, write a haiku about AI, silent mind awakes. See, artificial intelligence is essentially teaching machines to mimic human thinking. So we had a long text, now it's smaller. AI.translate. So we passed an English sentence and we targeted the language Arabic. So when we call this, it will make it Arabic. أحب البرمجة. We can choose other languages and we can ask it, we can basically translate it and summarize it. So here is the deal. Right now we translated it, right? We can go and do something even crazier. Let's say AI.summarize. This would work. Let's give it a try. So what's going to happen is we're gonna call a function and after it finishes and we get the output as text, it will go and be summarized. So when we call this, an API call is happening here, then another API call is happening here. It will take time, of course, but it messed up. Why? Because we changed the language essentially. But if you tune it properly, it will definitely work. That's exactly how you're supposed to be messing with the data itself. So let's work a little on it and go and extract some keywords. So we have this sentence and we want to extract the important. So Gemini said action, movement, animals, descriptive learning technology. As you can see, there is one issue with all these. Like it's doing the job essentially, but there is one issue. Here, I asked it to translate. It gave like a very long text. Here, and it didn't only give Arabic, right? Here, it gave me like a bunch of things and it gave me definitions. No one asked for definitions, and I didn't even ask for this, right? So here comes system instructions. So here we didn't like the AI didn't really know what to do. It just generated text. It didn't have any rules. It just generated with no rules. That's why we need system instructions. Do you guys have any questions? If we run it 2 times, will we have the same results? Yes, but only if you define it in the way and give it rules with system instructions. So it will return proper outputs. So when you pass it to 2 functions, it will not mess up. So let me show you. System instructions are special guidelines or context you provide to an AI model. For example, you are raising your kid. You are telling him, I don't want you to go out of the house after 10 p.m. And I don't want you to, for example, to keep playing video games all day. So you are giving rules. And now the AI model is the same way. You're giving it instructions. So when it returns something, it's returning it in a correct way. So even when you go and wrap a model and then you start calling functions inside of each other, it does not get messed up. So why use system instructions? Set the AI's role. You give it its role. It will understand what it's doing, essentially. You control its tone and style. You can tell it to be formal, casual, humorous, concise, and provide context. So you can add background info the AI should remember while answering. So you can give it something to keep in mind, essentially, and to improve consistency. So here you can remind it with the expected behavior it's supposed to give. So for example here, okay, we told it to summarize, it summarized. Here we told it to translate, it did translate, but it gave extra, which is not wanted. So if we add a system instruction here to just keep the response as generic as possible and as short as possible and not include a single English word, it will work out essentially. This is why we need a system instructions. So to use them for Gemini, you will need to add this key, system instruction, access it by part, and pass your system instruction. And then for the content, this is like the other regular. You're gonna be passing your text and prompt. So here you have your system instruction and your system instruction, and you have your text with the prompt you provided. Again, you don't have to understand this very well because most of this part is just pretty much copy pasting. So here I created another wrapper. I defined my API key, my AI model, my temperature, and the API URL. And I went to generate text, did the same exact stuff, but here there is a small difference. I add a system instruction. I told it you are a student attending AI Summer Sprint 2025 Bootcamp. Okay, now in the payload we changed things a little bit as I told you. So here we passed system instruction, ports, and we pass the system instruction, and for the contents it stays the same. Then we send a post request to the API URL. We raise for status to see if there are issues, and then we expect the JSON data from the response and we extract it for text and return that text. So let me run this, create an instance, and click generate. Who are you? So he knew instantly I'm a student attending the AI Summer Sprint 2025 Bootcamp. So now it forgot about the fact that it's just a text generation model. Now it role plays as a student in the AI Summer Sprint 2025 Bootcamp. So you can play along with this. Why? Again, as I told you earlier, to set the role, to control the tone and style, provide context, and improve consistency. So if you tune it properly and you do your prompt engineering stuff, you will get the output that you are expecting. AI will never make mistakes if you prompt it in the proper way. So before we move on to our uh, next topic, storing memory, I would love to ask you guys, do you understand everything so far? Okay, perfect. Perfect. I can see that everyone understands. I just sent the Google Colab on the group in case anyone wants to follow along. Now we will do something really, really interesting. And I really want you guys to focus because there will be a classwork after it. So I want to see your submission. Okay? I want you to submit your work and I will be seeing your answers right now during the session. It will not be a homework for later because I know you guys are busy with the group project, obviously. So you will be working with me and I will see the best responses. Alright, moving forward. So storing memory. Let's test something. Okay. I want to ask this AI that generate text. My name is Hassan. What about you? So when I run this, it will give me a regular response. But what if I call it again and ask it about my name? So AI.generate text. What was my name again? And you might expect it to write my name, but here is the thing. It doesn't have memory. Since I'm in AI, I don't have access to personal information or remember details. It does not remember details. You will need to tell me. What if we do something that's not very complicated, let's say, but very, very smart? So we can remind the AI with the latest things that it just generated or the latest data that it started interacting with. So why memory is important? We are maintaining context, right? So memory helps the model remember earlier parts of the conversation, so replies are consistent and relevant. So we want the AI to at least have a short-term memory, so it will not keep forgetting everything it's generating. Build conversations, so it's conversation based. Yani, for example, if you are talking to someone and for example you go tell them hello, let's say my name is Hassan, and then after 10 minutes they forgot my name, after 20 minutes they forgot it again. It gets frustrating, right? So we can add memory to the AI in a simple way, let's say, so it will be more efficient at its task. And we can personalize it by allowing the AI to recall user preferences, facts, or instructions, so we can tailor the responses and improve coherence by referencing past inputs and outputs, so the AI avoids repeating itself and just stick to the actual topic. And handle complex tasks. So some tasks require keeping track of intermediate steps or information. It will need some sort of memory to be able to track these tasks. And without memory, every prompt is treated independently, and just basically becomes much more frustrating. So, one second. So examples of memory usage in AI agents. I'm pretty sure you guys heard a lot about AI agents. We had two sessions about them. One with N8N with Mr. Mohammed Darsa. One with engineer Elke Ellery. So memory is one of the most important things in AI agents. So when you're creating a chatbot AI agent or a virtual assistant, they have to remember your user preferences, past questions, and just keep on a conversation with you. For example, if you created this agent to respond to customers, for example, for let's say clothes shop, right? The AI agent must remember the the order of the person that is talking to them, right? For example, let's say my friend Ahmad was ordering from my agent, and then my agent kept forgetting whatever he ordered. Ahmad will be frustrated, and then he will never want to deal with my uh, with my company anymore, right? And then customer support agents, so keep track of previous interactions, as I said earlier. Wait, one second. What happened to the text? Yeah. Task management agents, for example, if you have something like an agent that deals with task deadlines and user instructions, it will have to remember to be keep sending schedules and reminders. If you are designing this agent that organizes an entire event, it needs some memory to keep sending reminders to everyone to come to that event, right? And we might need it for multi-step problem solving. So agents can keep track of intermediate reasoning steps or calculations to solve complex queries over multiple turns. So pretty much memory is really important. AI will not steal your job, but the guy using AI probably will. Definitely true. Okay, guys. So let's look into some code. So here, I did the same thing. I created a wrapper. I initialized a self.memory list. This will store the the most recent responses. How so? So here, we created the generate text function. We checked for the API key. We created the memory. What is basically the memory here? It's uh, a text that has the prompt and the AI responses memory. So here we are creating a full prompt that has instructions for the AI that says a prompt and AI responses inside of this list. So imagine it as if you were like, okay, I'm asking you for a question, But before you answer this question, I want you to remember that I told you 1, 2, 3 before you generate that. Like you're reminding the AI. So the full prompt will have memory, and new prompt will have the prompt itself, and we give an instruction that says do not mention anything about the memory you were exposed to. So we shouldn't the AI itself shouldn't keep saying over and over that it's remembering things or mention anything about it. Just rather say or respond to that prompt and remember that memory. So here we are passing this inside of here. We are passing the entire memory, not the entire memory, just the last 5 responses, so it wouldn't become very heavy, right? So every time we are asking the AI something, it will remember the last 5 informations we gave it. I hope you guys got it. So we passed it in the text, in the payload, and we posted in requests. And when we were done, we appended the newer prompt inside of the memory. So the user prompt and the AI. And we passed it here. This is why we are using classes again. Now it will be much easier to manipulate the memory and just have like the memory inside of the class itself instead of just defining something globally. So now when we run this and we ask something, okay, let me delete this. We create, okay, no problem. Let me just run it and call generate text. Hello, how are you? Very regular question. Wait, let me run this. I think I forgot to change this code, no problem. Yeah, I just need to change it real quick, 1 second. Okay. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you? Basic question. Another question. My name is Hassan. What about you? Uh, Wait. I will have to deal with this in a bit, but not a problem. Let me show you the actual functionality that I'm trying to get to here. So AI.generate text. What was my name? Let me run it. Hassan. Here it remembered. Okay, I will have to deal with this now, but here keep in mind that it actually remembered my name, although this was not in the same prompt. I asked for this earlier, and it remembered it the second time I passed. So now it has memory. Now regarding this, you can add a system instruction. I forgot to add it here, but you can add it to just instruct the AI to stick to answering the prompts and not focus on the memory. Anywho, ChatGPT after 1 day of conversations in one chat. So let me show you something. When you are on ChatGPT, you keep chatting on one chat, right? So if you keep chatting and chatting and chatting, asking ChatGPT for things, you will notice that, let's say, after 1 hour or 2 hours, the chat will become extremely slow. Why? Because whenever you are asking ChatGPT for something, it gets slower. Why? Because it sends the entire conversation with every message. So the same way I am doing it here, I'm passing the memory, the entire memory, to the prompt. ChatGPT actually does that. I was very shocked when I heard this. Like I just know about this like a week ago. But for ChatGPT, when you are asking it anything, it usually remembers. Why? Because the entire chat is being mentioned to it over and over and over and over, so it will not forget. And that's the nice thing about ChatGPT. But for models like the one I'm using here, I can't do that because there is a token limit. So that's why I restricted it to the final last 5 prompts. Because if I did more than that, the fetch will return an error saying that I'm asking for a very long prompt. So it wouldn't work. But for them, no, it's this or their own thing, so they don't care, and it just basically works for them. So now I have a flash build. Wait 1 second. I messed it up. Yes. So now you have one class activity. So I want you guys to implement a clear memory method to wipe the entire memory. So let's say we don't want it to remember the memory at some point. We want it to forget. It's like you are taking the memory of AI and you are just deleting the entire memory. So I will pass this code to you guys again. You already have this file, I believe. And I will send you the form where you will be submitting your work. So this is a quick flash activity that I want you guys to do. 1 second, I passed the wrong link. Okay, so this is how it looks like. I want you guys to just submit your code. So I will give you 10 minutes to do so. Right now it's 8. I want you guys to just wrap with it before 8:10. So let's see who's actually going to submit it and perhaps win something. So any response will appear here. You guys have 10 minutes. So just focus with me for a sec. You have this code. I want you to create an extra method that erases this memory. So this memory will be storing the latest responses. I want you guys to create another method to clean that memory and send me that method. Okay, so I will give you 10 minutes and your time starts now. And this is one meme that says, when you do your homework while the teacher is collecting it. I'm Speed, so you have 10 minutes, only 10 minutes to finish this. I want to see you guys finishing it. But make sure to, okay, take your time, but submit something that's correct. Okay, I will repeat one last time for Hussein. So here you have this code. We are storing memory. Every time we are calling the generate text function, we are passing the prompt and the AI response, right? And whenever we are calling it again, we are getting back to the last 5 responses, so we can mimic a memory like for the AI. Now I want you to do to create a method in this class that will have a cleaning method, like it will clean that memory. For example, if you wanted to forget about whatever it learned, you can just call that function very quickly. So it will have the name clear memory, and it will be inside of that class. Even if I didn't install the API yet, no problem, you don't have to test it. I just wanted to implement the behavior where you will be cleaning the memory. So you don't have to know much about the AI part. I just wanted to understand that we have this list where we are storing our responses from the fetch and the prompts that are passed to the fetch. I want you to clean it, just like return it to its initial state of an empty list. So it will look like this. Let me show you. So here we will have def clean memory and pass. It will have something here. Let's say we will give it self. So let me, yeah. So here you need to implement logic, so it actually works the same way it's expected to just erase that memory. So that's something that you can do in ChatGPT actually. If you wanted to forget something or just forget its entire memory, you can go and click on a button and delete it. Now I want you to implement such logic and send me the answers. Okay, someone, okay. Samir Siblini sent. def clear memory, self dot memory empty, parent memory cleared. Fantastic, Samir. Good job. This is obviously a correct response. Okay. Malak Hassan submitted def clear memory self dot memory empty list. Exactly, Malak. So you guys have multiple ways to do so. You can create a new list and just pass it inside of self.memory. You can delete all the elements of self.memory. You can do it. You can do this in so many ways, but all of them are correct at the end. If you guys want to do something harder, maybe you will see that this is an easy task. If you want to do something that's harder, you can perhaps create a loading function, a method that loads the data or like the memory from an external source. For example, you can add to generate text something that says that adds data outside. For example, pickle it, create a pickle file, or just maybe save it on a CSV file. Doesn't matter. And when you when you click on load, it loads the data. When you call the loading function, all of that is correct, obviously. Okay, guys, do you have any questions? I hope that the session is clear so far. Is it? Should we handle errors? No problem. No. You don't have to. You can just like clear the thing. I just want to I want to see that you actually understand what's going on. Pfizer wrote def clear memory and pass self uh, accessed the initialized attribute self.memory and created an empty list. Perfect, Faiza. Congratulations, guys. You guys did very well. You definitely understand what's going on now. Okay. So 4 minutes left. What did the ones that submit win? Uh, I will have to reveal that later, obviously. Tonight we will be posting the methods to upload your group projects, like a PDF essentially. When I post it, I will send the prize or like the thing that the people won. What if the memory was already empty and I called the method? It doesn't matter. It initializes something that was already there. Doesn't matter. You can drop your questions here. Well, it's the same code, so all will have the same code. It's okay. There are many ways to do so, as I told you, and all of them are correct. I just want you guys to actually understand what's going on. A lot of people are submitting. Okay, let's see. So Ala Abdullah said, clears the memory, store conversation memory, self.memory. Perfect. Sharbel Latouf, clear memory. Perfect. Hussein Muhammad, same. Aha, Ahmed is using a different method. He's the only person that actually uses a different method. That's correct, Ahmed. Everyone is correct. You guys are following along, and I'm very proud of you. Okay, moving on. This is basically how the ChatGPT chat would feel like this. It would feel so heavy. It's like a whale when you are having a full day of conversations in just one chat with it, right? So one last thing that's optional, not really forced, that I would like to show you is the Geni library. So you can click on this if you want to install it. Pip install Google dash Geni. and use it instead of the API call. So you don't have to fetch it using requests. You can just use the library if you want to, and you will be passing your API key inside of the client, and response is equal to client.models.generate content. So this will just access the generate content functionality inside of the model, and you pass the model obviously, and you put the content as basically the prompt. So when you run it, it does the same thing. You can add system instructions. It's much simpler than the API in my opinion. This is why I wanted to show it to you guys. Like, this is primarily an API session, but if you can manage use library, for example here for Gemini I'm using a Gemini library. For example, if you want to use a model from Hugging Face, you can use inference client and pipeline function from transformers library. So yeah, in most cases you might not be dealing with APIs in the first place, but it works the same way because even these libraries are using the API inside of it, يعني at the end of the day. So here I define my system instruction inside of generate content config. So we defined configurations. So we only needed this when we defined system instructions. So you can copy paste this if you want, and contents will remain the same. So we just added one extra parameter. We ran it. It gave the same thing. So if you want to wrap it, for example, you can import it. Choose the like initiate the client. You just initiate it once. Like whenever you want to call the generate text function, you shouldn't be just like calling the client over and over and over and over. You can just like call it once, and you're good to go, right? Like you already loaded it, and you defined your model, so you're good to go. All right. So for generate, we passed our client.models.generate content logic again. We put our model, our configurations, if we want to put system instructions, and for contents we pass our prompt. Okay, so when we run this, it works the same way. We can generate our text. I am a large language model trained by Google. So before we wrap up, I want to show you one last thing. So this is a simple website I created. Wait, let me remove the... Okay. So it's just like a very basic website. This was like my first AI integration website. I have the front and the back end here. So for the back end, very simply, but yeah, I'm fetching to Gemini here using the same way we did. I defined my method as post, my headers, and the body, the contents, role, everything. This is JavaScript, but it's pretty much the same thing. Like it's the same exact thing, just the syntax changes a little. You can find all of these on the actual website for Gemini. You can just copy paste the code for whatever language you are using, and you're good to go. But here is the thing: the link, the URL itself, when you are fetching, will never change. It's the same. So here, I passed my Gemini. I called to the root from the back end in the front end, and I ended up using Gemini in this website. So it's very simple. I have a budget, let's say $200 for 3 days, and I want a vegetarian life. I don't know, with no repetition, right? So it's very simple, just like something simple. So when I click on generate plan, now I went to the back end, and that back end called an API fetch to Gemini, and it got the response, and that response went back to the front end. Okay, it's done now. It generated the entire thing for me from Gemini. So This is like you have, it's like you integrate a brain into your back end that thinks for you and does the work for you. Now I used function based fetching inside of my post method, like inside my root. But if you want, you can always create a class or just wrap it in a wrapper and keep using it over and over if you want to be dealing with other projects as well, if you want to be using it for multiple projects or so. So here, this response was generated by Gemini. A lot of websites out there right now that just have the title AI in it, for example, uh, lovable.dev or these AI tools out there online that tell you that they will do the service using AI, usually have calls to OpenAI or Gemini or DeepSeek. They call to the OpenAI API, for example, and have their functionality from it, and it thinks for them, and it returns the responses on their own front end or back end. So it's a very useful tool. It's a very strong tool actually, and most websites out there right now are using it. So it's a must to learn. So now you already know how to integrate AI, how to wrap AI API inside of a class and a function. You know how memory basically works, and you are one step ahead right now. You know something that a lot of people still don't know until now, unfortunately. In the bigger picture, if you don't have a wrapper, you will just have raw HTTP requests and JSON building. You will be very repetitive. You will be dealing with error-prone code. It will be very hard to scale your code, to have it expanded with features and debugging. And every call will require a full setup. But if you use a wrapper, you will just be calling clean methods calls for the clean API يعني, and you will have your reusable dry maintainable code, and it will be very easy to cache and add memory and log your responses and show that it rise, and the setup will just be once, and you can change it later on, and it will be affected, it will affect the entire use cases that you are dealing with. You wouldn't have to go change and waste a lot of time. So thank you so much, guys. You are one step ahead, as I mentioned, and I'm very proud of each one of you for sticking this far. Tonight, I will be announcing the winners for this competition, and I really hope that you learned something useful. Now I will open the door for some questions, as we have 15 minutes left before the very interesting session with Sarah about the pitching. It looks like a rocket more than a well. I mean, the important thing is for you to understand that if you have a very big memory, it will be very uh, hard to keep uh, getting responses from the AI itself. So you shouldn't pass a very big amount of prompts that were passed before. So that's why you should stick to just having less, although it will cost you the functionality and the brain of the AI essentially. For example, for ChatGPT, it copy pastes the entire thing, so it will have a very very big memory, but it becomes slow. But it's still strong. So it's like something good and something bad. It depends how you use it essentially. Learning all this is cool. So do you guys have any questions? Feel free to ask. I know this was maybe, let's say, okay, I have to admit that I lied. Like I said, this will be a light session. But feel free to drop your questions, and I will be very helped to answer. Otherwise, you can also contact me on WhatsApp or LinkedIn, and I will make sure to help you as much as I can. So far, one of my favorite sessions in the bootcamp. That's very sweet of you, Malak. Thank you so much. Alright, guys. So I guess we will be having a mini break until 8:30. So stick through. Don't go far away. Just go grab a coffee or so, because we will be having a very important session right now. It's about uploading your projects and pitching them. No, uploading will be later on over a PDF file, but for the pitching part, we will be having it right now. So make sure to stick through because this is very important. You can keep this collab file and mess with it as much as you want. We will definitely be also adding all the material from the bootcamp in the file, the Google Classroom file that we shared with you earlier. We still need to optimize it a little, and you can always refer back to the old bootcamp material if in case you wanted to use it. We really want you guys to have the maximum benefit out of this bootcamp. We know that you can't attend all of the sessions, so you can always go back and check things again. And you can repeat this video as many times as you want, right? Because the recordings will also be provided as well. I think this was some. What was his name? Something DiCaprio, I think. I don't know. Anyways, stay tuned for the next session, guys. Yes, thank you so much, Tamara. Alright, guys. It seems like you don't have questions, but don't go away. As I said, just go grab a coffee or so. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all of you.
Hello everyone, thank you all for joining. We will be starting in few minutes till everyone joins. Okay, I see only 42 people joined so far. I guess you're all not excited for how to basically create your PPT and present the pitch. We'll wait 2 more minutes and then we will start. Okay, we will start in 1 minute. Okay, so hello everyone, can you all hear me? Okay, guess Rihanna has a joke. Uh, we're excited to hear your joke, Rihanna. Meanwhile, can you guys hear me? That's great. How did you guys find the bootcamp so far? Amazing, amazing. We're really glad to hear that. So, if you've made it so far, welcome. And we're actually really proud of each and every one of you for making it this far. It was indeed a very intensive boot camp with several topics within different fields within AI. And it was extremely intensive. We are aware of that. But what matters is that you guys dove into several new AI topics and learned a lot. So we've received some amazing feedback so far, and we'd like to drop in a surprise actually. This will definitely not be the first and the last time we host such bootcamp. We're actually currently planning an upcoming fall sprint bootcamp as well as a summer sprint bootcamp with different topics. We're actually working on cybersecurity as well as quantum computing. By the way, I'd like to share that quantum computing is a very hot topic right now, so I'm pretty sure that you don't want to miss that. So I believe everyone is excited today. Now that you all know me, I believe no need to introduce myself. But as usual, we're gonna be kicking things off with a icebreaker. So feel free to drop in your answers in the chat box. And today's icebreaker is actually pretty fun. Pretty sure that you're all of you're gonna basically enjoy it. So let's start. Would you rather eat pickles or tomatoes? This one is gonna be real fun. I believe we have a lot of pickle haters here. Okay, someone is saying tomato. Yeah, I knew it. Everyone hates pickles. I do as well. Okay, we have some people saying that they rather have pickles and okay, who else? Come on, guys. Okay, so we have several answers. Okay, let's start with our next icebreaker. Oh, Sarah, you're gonna be seeing that in a second. Don't worry, it will click in a second. Would you rather have meat or are you vegetarian or vegan and you'd rather have basically a vegan meat? Okay, no vegans here. I feel left out. Are there any vegans supporting me? That's cool, Hassan. Bon appetit. Okay, no vegans here. All right. Okay, cool. Summer is vegan. Great. Who else? Okay, I believe it's just you and me, Summer. All right. So, as mentioned, it's gonna click in a bit. So some people are vegan, others maybe like meat, others maybe like to have chicken. Some people are pickle haters, others hate tomato. Basically, everyone has his own taste. What you like might not be someone else favorite. So yeah, basically everyone has their own taste, and this is what makes each perspective valuable. No two people are ever the same. Everyone has his own taste, his own vibe, his own style, and even their least favorite dish and their most liked dish. So we're all humans, we're all different. No one has the same taste, right? Now, you might be wondering, what does this has to do with pitching? You're gonna see that in a bit, but I'd like to keep you guys guessing actually. So, this is a burger. As mentioned, maybe some people would rather remove the pickle, add a tomato, remove the meat, add a vegan meat, remove the lettuce. Maybe someone is lactose intolerant and they wouldn't love to maybe have like a slice of cheese or something. Everyone has their own taste, and that's definitely okay. We're not the same. Everyone has his own favorite dish and whatever. So, I'd actually love to see some answers. So you're all probably wondering, what are you guys supposed to do with this? Like, okay, Sarah, chill. We actually know that. But why are you making us hungry? Why are you speaking about food? I'd like to see some examples. Maybe take a wild guess. What does food has to do with pitching? Arish, we will be sharing the slots real soon. Okay. Now I'd love to see you guys taking a wild guess. Why am I speaking about food when today's session is all about pitching? Okay, Joelle is saying building a presentation is exactly how like we build a burger. Okay, that's cool. Okay, Sarah's getting hungry. Who else? Take a wild guess. That's a great answer, Rihanna. Who else? Okay, that's a nice joke, Hassan. Okay. Building a coherent story like a well-made burger in our own way. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Everyone has his style of pitching, correct? Because as we all have different tastes in food, we will be delivering different styles of pitching. Yeah, that makes sense. Any more answers, or do we just drop in the answer? Whatever we remove or add, it stays a burger, you know? Okay, okay. So, do I spoil the answer already? Or would you guys like to take further guesses? Okay, let me just spoil that actually. So, pitching is exactly just like cooking. When you are making a sandwich or a burger or anything, any dish basically, okay? Pitching is exactly just like you're cooking, okay? And no one is born a master. But if you add in the right ingredients, a little heat, maybe some practice, you're gonna be serving something unforgettable and your pitch is gonna be great. Okay? So that's the relation between food and pitching. Pitching isn't just something someone is born with. No, it's actually a skill that you can master, same way as you can master cooking or something else. All right? Uh, guys, can you hear me clearly? Please just confirm that. Okay, cool, great, awesome. So, you can actually be a good chef because it only takes practice. Okay, so if you practice, you already know that if you work more on a skill or enhance it more, you can get better. Okay, so pitching is exactly just like that. When you're basically working on your pitch presentation, okay, you will be constantly refining it, editing it. It's not a static uh, state, obviously. You can tweak and refine as you go. There will be a lot of edits, a lot of refinements. Same way a chef basically learns how to cook. He might be a bad chef. He might not know how to mix ingredients well, but with time and practice, a chef will get better. So that is exactly what pitching is about. So, yeah, I'm gonna let you guys cook actually. So, you're gonna be basically cooking. I'm not sure. I believe the majority of you here are Gen Z, so you're all pretty familiar with this meme actually. Do you think that we're gonna be basically doing that? Like, not literally, but what do you guys think? This meme is actually one of my favorites. It's actually such a funny meme and a funny sticker. Of course, we don't want you guys to burn anything though. Okay, some people are actually saying they're cooked. Okay, maybe. Yeah, code with Sarah? No, maybe we're gonna be cooking with Sarah. You guys are gonna be actually doing that while working on your pitching presentations. Okay, cool. Now that made the sleepy people here laugh a bit. That's cool. Okay. So, no, we're not gonna be actually killing anyone, burning anything, or actually cooking. So, hold up just a minute. What you're gonna be actually doing is pitching. So we're not actually cooking, but I'd like for you guys to think of the pitch or how you're approaching a pitch or working on a pitch, same way as if just you're just cooking any dish. Okay, so pitching 101. No, we're not gonna be throwing any baseball balls, don't worry about that. So how to actually pitch? First of all, let's start by defining what a pitch is. When we've mentioned you guys have to pitch on Saturday, some of you were like, what is she talking about? What do you mean by a pitch? Some of you weren't even familiar with what pitching actually means, right? So, what does pitching means? Basically, a pitch is literally a short speech with a purpose. I like to define a pitch as that. Very simple explanation, pretty straightforward and clear. You're gonna be giving a speech, okay, with a presentation in the background, and that speech has a certain purpose. You have to convince the audience of your idea. Okay, yeah, sure, you've worked on your project, you did the code, you got your hands dirty, you finished everything. But now, the moment of truth, you have to present everything you worked on. But your audience might be people with, let's say, advanced background, others with non technical background, and maybe others that don't even know what the hell you're talking about. So you have to ensure that you're pitching in a neutral way, in a way where anyone, even a 6 year old, could get it. So, yes, you did the hard part, you did the hard work, you got your hands dirty, you finished everything, and now it is your moment to shine. You need to present your work in a way where others can understand. And I emphasize a lot on that. You need to impress others because pitching is not just creating a presentation. Oh, okay, I'm done. I just created a presentation. No, it's all about confidence. It's all about purpose. It's all about breaking down what you worked on in a very simple, clear way so other people, regardless of their background, can understand. Let's say someone hates pickles while another person likes tomatoes. Will you be giving the same dish to both of them? Obviously not. So you need to tailor your dish in a way where it meets everyone. All right? This way, you ensure that in your pitch, for example, everyone is grasping the concepts clearly, everyone is understanding, and you're not leaving anyone behind. So it's extremely important that your audience is not left behind. Now, for the AI Summer Sprint Bootcamp, what do you have to include in your pitch? So we've already went over this briefly in the check-in calls with each team. Okay. Yes, Sarah, feel free to drop in your question in the YouTube chat box and I'll get back to it. But what do you actually have to include? So you actually have to include your problem statement. This is the problem that your project is trying to solve, the solution, and why did you choose this specific approach? Okay, I want to solve this problem with this. Okay, but why? Why did I choose, for example, machine learning instead of deep learning? Why did I go with LLM prompt engineering and dealing with LLM APIs over just actually building my own model? So you need to convince the audience with your solution. Now, I would recommend that you do intensive research here in this area, as in to ensure you deliver the solution in a way that it will be convincing to the audience. By the way, I'd like to note that both problem statement and solution is actually pretty common in research. So us people in academia or researchers, or even if you're just an undergrad student and you're writing a research paper for your FYP final year project, some girls, I'll answer that in a bit, girls, just a sec. Some people Actually, the majority of people literally think of presenting their research the same way as if they're pitching. But the only difference is that the audience they're pitching for is usually different. It's usually specialists and like people from the research field. So this is just a quick note for anyone interested in knowing what's the deal with those. So you have to include problem statement and solution. I'll speak more on the problem in a bit, but let me answer Sarah's question. Do all members have to present the project or just one? Feel free. It's between the group itself. If you guys would like to pitch, all of you would like to pitch, you can do that. If you believe that one person pitching the entire thing would be better, you can do that. Should we define the technical terms we mentioned in our pitch? Yeah, obviously, we're going to talk a bit about that. So you also have to mention who did what. You have to show it's a group effort. For example, we worked on EDA and data cleaning. Let's say that person worked on that. So you have to write a specific slide about that, mentioning what did they work on, stuff like that, alongside the name of the team member that actually did that. We are already tracking what everyone worked on, obviously, but feel free to mention it in the pitch as well. All right. And of course, you have to be technical, but from a high level perspective, you don't need to go in detail. So we're going to be checking your projects. Our speakers will be going over them and all and grading them. So they will be literally digging for that one tiny error that you guys might have missed. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, we're going to be actually checking your projects and all of the details, as well as we're going to be reading your report or clear documentation. And with clear documentation, the documentation or the report has to be very, very, very detailed. Okay? Regarding the presentation, no, it's just a high-level overview. You don't need to go full on details. All right. And then you have to include one slide with a demo. What do I mean by a demo? Your application running. So you need to ensure that. Now, don't try including screenshots because we know that someone can, for example, fake a screenshot. Maybe you can just write the code and tell it to show in a certain way. So don't worry, we took that into consideration. So don't try to pull tricks, guys. Or you're gonna be basically, let me go back to this slide. Or this cute character is gonna be cooking you, basically. I'm just joking, obviously. But yeah, don't include screenshots. Only include a video, okay? A video record of the entire application running and all. All right, so this is what we call in technical terms a demo. You need to include that, all right? Because we know some people might take a lot for their code to run. So no, we're not asking you guys to just run it live during the pitch. No, you can just include a video, all right? And actually, let me note that this is the reason why we told you guys to work on Canva or Google Slides once again, because I know some of you tend to skip some sessions, or maybe you guys didn't notice, but I'm just going to be repeating that. The presentation has to be created only on Canva or Google Slides. So I'm going to be speaking a bit more about that later. We actually have a few more minutes and we're going to be wrapping up the session. Don't worry about that. But you have to submit a link, basically, a link to your presentation. And of course, don't submit a link with restricted access, one that we cannot access. And then maybe the deadline is at 10 p.m., by the way. The link has to be accessed by us. You need to ensure that everyone can access the link. And I emphasize on that. So this is extremely important. Now, I believe another trick that some of you might try to make is that you would submit the link as restricted access. We cannot view it. And maybe let's say you didn't get the chance to work on the presentation yet. So you just submitted it, and then when we asked you to give us access during this time, post the deadline, you created the presentation. So don't worry, guys, that's a common trick. So no, please don't do that. Or he's gonna be cooking you once again. Would anyone like to be cooked by this character? I believe none of you would like. Okay, I see some people laughing. All right, all right. Yeah, I believe no one would like to be cooked by him. Huda wants. Okay, okay, Huda. Okay, no, we're just joking, obviously, guys, but please make sure to take those 2 points I just mentioned into consideration. All right? So, moving on, actually, let's go back to where we paused a bit. So, you need to show us a video recording of your application. So, those are the points that have to be included in the pitch. There's actually one more point. I'm gonna go over it in a bit. Bear with me. So, regarding your problem, a quick suggestion would be abiding by the SMART framework. Now, what is the SMART framework? It's actually also commonly used in research as well, or whenever you're basically just trying to define a problem. So, your problem has to be specific. What exact problem are you solving? It has to be measurable, it has to be attainable, and also realistic. Like, okay, we're not gonna be building an AI model that solves global warming, for example. No, we might be able to build a model that gives great results, let's say 70% or 30% increase, stuff like that. So you have to ensure that it's realistic as well as time bound. So do try your best to maybe abide by the SMART framework while you're framing your problem. All right. Um, Being cooked by Elmo, I'd love to. Okay, Hassan. Then, if you'd love to be cooked by Elmo, maybe do the points that I was mentioning. I'm just joking, obviously, but yeah, I mentioned them, and we will be recapping everything at the end of the session. So, please, guys, make sure to abide by the instructions and such. Now, this is it regarding the SMART framework. Now, if you guys are not familiar, like how can I form my problem statement in a way where it's like abides by the SMART framework, you can ask ChatGPT to help you. You already took 2 sessions actually on prompt engineering, and use those skills there. Okay, it will actually be really great and it could help you in forming your problem statement. But of course, don't just copy paste. Once again, you should never trust AI. Okay? Don't just copy paste right away. No, feel free to edit it your own way and such. Okay? Elmo let us win. Well, who knows? Maybe if you added a meme, he might help you guys win. Who knows? Yes, I believe everyone in the meeting is cooking right now, and they're gonna be cooking post this session and till the time of submission, and even if in their own pitch on Saturday. All right. So this is it regarding the problem statement, but we are actually missing something. So yeah, wait a damn minute. What the hell are we missing? Would anyone like to take a lucky guess? What are we guys basically missing here? So we have to include this, the problem, the solution, the part that each member worked on. Okay, but what else? I'm gonna wait around 1 minute to see some answers from you guys. the GitHub, the certificate, AI integration, UML, ERD conclusion. Yeah, those are, of course, certain points that have to be included. But what we're actually telling you guys to include is merely the points that you have to discuss. Of course, you are basically free to add other stuff. By the way, this is just a template, but we need those points mentioned. Source, please tell me it's right because I already did them. I ain't removing them. No, don't remove them, Joel. Yeah, do keep them. Don't remove them. This would be your maybe touch in the presentation. So let me emphasize on that. No, this isn't exactly like what has to be included and just that. Because if you calculate them, no, it's not gonna take like 5 minutes. If you do them in a high level overview, it's gonna take just only 3 minutes. So you would have, let's say, 4 minutes left. So you can add other points as well. You can be creative as well. And we're actually missing something that is extremely important and has to be included in the presentation pitch. If anyone guesses that, we're gonna be rewarding them with a surprise. No, the tech stack, Joel, you're gonna be actually mentioning that in the high level overview. Memes, not really, Amina. Slide numbers is always preferred, so no, not that really. You will be automatically adding that. Let me tell you why do people usually add slide numbers. Let's say you're on slide 15, but you don't have the number of the slide. Okay, so how will the person asking question about that exact slide tell you to go back to that slide? So this is why we include slide numbers, because if someone has a question, for example, at slide 15 or at slide 7 or whatever, you would just scroll back and go back to slide 7 or 15. The type of the model, you're gonna be actually talking about that, obviously, Arish. Logo, of course, you have to include that, but no, that's not the answer. Mentioning the bootcamp progress, no. Resources, challenges, limitations, added value, all of those points you are free to add and free to remove. Like, no, that's not actually the thing that we're missing. So I believe no one would guess it. Do we wait more or do we just spoil it? Asking for incubators to collaborate and buy the project. Did ChatGPT help you with that? Good answer, but no, that's not the answer. Objectives, also no. Not really. We're gonna be actually timing you guys when you join the pitch meeting, so it will be timed. Don't worry about that. Okay, Joel. Yeah, of course, I'm gonna be spoiling that. So actually, I'm disappointed in you guys. No one guessed that. No problem. Okay, so what we're actually missing is the contribution. We already mentioned that, anonymous. Explain the code or the flow. Bro, you will be explaining it. How we'll market for it? No, this isn't a business pitch. It's a technical pitch. Explain the code or no. Okay, that's enough. I'm just spoil the answer actually. So every great presentation and every great pitch, they all have one thing in common, regardless of what we actually talked about. And are you guys ready? Do I just spoil it? Do I click on the next slide? No, that's not correct, Ahmad. I like to keep you guys guessing. Let's see. No lucky winners? I'm gonna give you guys one more minute. Mentioning if AI had role or not in creating the project. No, Ahsan, because we obviously know everyone was using ChatGPT and AI tools, and that is completely allowed. Don't worry about that. Spoil it. Okay, sure. I'm gonna be spoiling it. Okay, a hint. I did give you a hint. It's actually something that we find in every presentation, not just a pitch presentation. Do we wait a bit more or do we just spoil it? Come on, guys. Think. No, not really. Not really, Samira. It's not a business pitch. It's somehow a technical pitch. So we're not going to be diving into the business stuff. And the audience here is technical people. So you're not pitching to maybe market your startup idea or stuff like that. So, no. Confidence, no. Memes, no. Outline, no. References, no. Okay, I gave a hint actually. Okay, I believe none of you are gonna guess that. Graphs, diagrams, you will obviously be adding that, Miriam. We are just giving you a general template with the points that we'd like you guys to have, and those points are usually found in all sessions actually. The problem solved. Didn't we just go over that, Mira? Your model is basically the solution of the problem. Okay, enough, I guess. I'm gonna be spoiling it. No, not a thank you slide. Okay. So you're gonna be all saying, okay, that was lame. How did I not guess that? Pretty sure. So what you guys are actually missing is the sauce. He's a famous chef, by the way. So you guys are actually missing the sauce. Do I give you guys a hint to guess what the sauce is all about? I'm just gonna wait 30 seconds maybe to see if someone would guess or something. No, not really. Not an icebreaker. An icebreaker is usually when you're explaining a concept. But you're close, Arish. You're somehow close. Yeah, Rihanna. I'm not a ranch fan, honestly. Testing. No, you're gonna be showing the demo in the video, so no. Do I wait more or would you guys like to know? Yeah, correct. Okay, we have a winner. Yeah, you guys are actually missing the hook. Well done, Amina. Yeah, correct. So, great job. Well done, Amina. You guys are actually missing the hook. So, every good presentation, every great pitch, they all have one thing in common. And it is the hook. Great job, Amina. Well done. We'll be contacting you after the competition with your prize and such. Great job. So you guys are actually missing the hook. And a hook is basically something that catches the attention of the audience. And it's extremely important because if you don't win your audience in the first 10 seconds or in the first few seconds, you're not gonna have them basically focusing with you or actually listening. So it's as if you're talking to someone who can't hear. All right? So the hook is actually the most important element that has to be included in the pitch. All right? It's extremely important. And obviously, you mentioned the hook at the beginning because you need to win them at the beginning. All right, so great job, Amina. You can think of a hook actually as fireworks, when you're starting a party or something, or you need people to look. What you basically do is, just to drop in some fireworks. Okay, so everyone, and I literally mean everyone likes to stare at fireworks. Okay, I'm pretty sure no one doesn't. So fireworks are exactly as you can think of them exactly as the hook. It has everyone looking, it has everyone observing. So fireworks are literally just like a hook. And this takes us to the moment that you're all waiting for. Hopefully, not questions, because I need to book in a therapy session after those questions. We're just joking, but no, it's not. It's not the Q&A time. It's actually how can you present your work? Okay, what do you have to do? What are the steps and all? So basically, okay, let me wait a few seconds in case anyone has any comment. Okay. So basically, how are you gonna be competing and how you're gonna be pitching? So we're gonna be sending a Google Meet link to every team with a specified time slot, and you're gonna be joining that Google Meet on that exact time. So if we share a link with you guys and tell you to join at 5, you're not gonna actually go live at like 5. No, you're gonna be starting at 5 and 1 minute or 5 and 2 minutes till you get things settled. But please do join at the exact time. This is extremely important because you will be streaming live. Everyone will be seeing you. Okay? So for the team members, you join, all of you have to join the meeting, and you can choose which member you'd like them to pitch. If you'd like one member or two or the entire team, feel free. All right. And then once you're done with your pitch, you have to go and attend the live streaming. So it is extremely important for you to be in the live stream attending while we're announcing the winners. All right. And we don't want a competition or a pitch with only 4 or 3 viewers, you lazy people. All right. Elmo will be cooking you if you let the views be 3 views or 4 views, alright? I'm pretty sure no one would like to be cooked by Elmo. Okay, I believe Elmo's gonna hate us now because he's gonna be cooking a lot of people. All right, so this is extremely important, guys, because when we announce the winners, we need to ensure they are attending the stream and they need to be making a comment, all right? We need to know that you guys are attending, all right? So you can invite your family, friends, and everyone. We will be creating the streaming link in a few, actually, and you can share it on your social media, everything. So yeah, feel free to invite everyone. Okay? No problem, Ihsan, but please do make sure to attend the moment that we're announcing the winners. Okay? No, you don't have to attend like the entire pitching stream. Okay, but it is extremely important to attend when we're announcing the winners, and we actually are gonna be announcing a surprise after all of the teams complete their pitching. So I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to miss that. Do we have to open our cameras? No need for that. But if you're comfortable and you'd like, then yeah, feel free. Yes, Arish, we're gonna be keeping everything. Everything is accessible to everyone, and the Google Classroom is accessible to everyone. Yes, Masa, it's gonna be live on YouTube, same way that you're attending this session right now. Everything is streamed live. All right, so make sure to come in with confidence. I'm pretty sure you're all gonna be doing great, actually. Just quick notes. Yeah, you obviously know that the winners will be featured on our website and you will be receiving prizes. We're gonna be actually announcing more on that later after all of the teams finish pitching. Also, I would like to make a comment. There is a form that we shared with you. And we mentioned that this form wins you 25 points. So if you're comfortable, we will be featuring you on our website alongside your name, your LinkedIn profile, your feedback and testimonial, and also initiative and basically participate in that. And of course, you're going to be gaining 25 points per member. Arij, the duration of the pitch is 7 minutes. Okay? Now, just a few important rules, okay? I don't want to call Elmo again and tell him to cook people, so please make sure to abide by those rules. I'll be posting the presentation shortly after the session. So, you also, the metric that we shared, will be assessed based on that metric. So, we're not just judging on the technical aspect, no, we're taking all things considered. More details can be found at that Google Doc. This is to ensure that we are being equitable and fair with everyone. Okay, so fairness is actually a really great motto of us, and we always like to be fair with everyone. And pretty sure that some of you noticed while we were having the check-in calls that if some team member if isn't working, we send them a warning and then we remove them as well. Or if any team member is troublesome, not respecting, being a bossy member, not collaborating, not communicating, just giving instructions. So we don't tolerate that here. We're all about growth. Okay, so the motto is to grow together. All right, you're here to learn, grow, evolve, collaborate, communicate, and dive into several AI topics. Okay, and regarding the presentations, as mentioned, it has to be submitted via the link only. We'll be sharing that link on the group, and it's found in the slides as well. And obviously, you need to pitch with confidence. All right. So this is extremely important. So make sure to attend the full live stream session when we're announcing the winners and going over the surprises. This is extremely important. And you have, and we're gonna be, including the competition results and winner announcements and everything. Now, for other important roles, the first slide of your presentation must include the AI Summer Sprint Bootcamp logo. We'll be, guys, providing you with a template you can copy paste from. The project title, the names of all team members, and your team or group name. Let me go over an example actually. So exactly this is the template that you guys are going to be following for the first slide only. The rest of the slides you are free to edit and tweak as you like. We're going to be providing you with a Canva link. Please only make a copy of the Canva link and then copy paste the elements on the slide. I don't want people saying, I can't access the link, I can't copy anything. Bro, you're viewing it as a view only and you didn't make a copy. Of course, you're not going to be able to copy anything. All right? So this is the template for the first slide. Okay? And as mentioned, the deadline is July 25 at 10 p.m. GMT +3 time zone, which is Beirut time zone. And you need to submit via this link. Don't worry, we'll be sharing the link again. Okay. Actually, let me just show you the fields of the link actually. So please don't spam us with submissions. Okay. Only one team member will be submitting that. Okay. And it has to include the name of your group, the phone number, the email, the presentation link, which could be done on either Canva or Google Slides. And we're gonna be providing you with the template for the first slide. Don't worry about that. We're gonna be actually posting it on Google Classroom after this session. So this is extremely important, okay? Please don't let Elmo cook you, okay? This is regarding how to submit and all. And this is the template. We're gonna be sharing that. And with that, actually, we reached the end of the session. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I hope you guys don't have any questions. If not, then you're obviously clapping, so I'm not gonna say just clap. So yeah. Any questions? Yeah, there's plenty. Let me read those. No, only yes. The email of the entire team members, yeah, and the phone number of entire team members. Yeah, that is correct, Joel. Yeah, there is a rank Arish. How many winners will we pick? I don't know. Let's ask Elmo. Okay, any further questions? Cool, great. I mean, he's gonna be shooting you if you ask questions, so. Maybe we'll try to include less scarier memes for the next bootcamp. We'll see about that. What do you think, Hassan? Yes, anonymous. I didn't add my LinkedIn. Yes, of course, you can resubmit it again. Yeah, they are motivating indeed. Okay, guys, so with that, we actually reach the end of the session, okay? And this is the final session in the bootcamp. I hope all of you guys enjoyed this bootcamp. We received amazing feedback. And this is really great. We're actually really proud of everyone. No, Tamara, I think they won't be dropping their questions after this meme. No, I'm just joking. Feel free to ask. All the videos, yeah, Yana, everything is available on the YouTube channel. But we're gonna be editing the videos a bit because we're gonna be cutting the parts where there were breaks or there weren't sessions or stuff like that. So you will actually have two playlists. Actually, let me share my screen. Actually, we're gonna show you what we actually mean by that. Yeah, just give us a second, guys, and I'll be sharing my screen. All right. Okay, cool. So there's gonna be two playlists actually. Okay. As you can see, AI Summer Sprint Bootcamp live unedited streams. Okay, so this playlist contains the entire sessions from the bootcamp on each day, okay? So basically, day one is in one video, day two, etc., depending on the number of streaming links, but those aren't edited, okay? So if there is a break, then we did not cut that from the video, we did not remove that, etc., okay? So those will be here. And if you notice, we're actually working on creating a new playlist, which is AI Summer Sprint Bootcamp, all sessions one by one. So it actually has the names of each sessions, all right, as you can see. Okay, and some details regarding where they have been actually, all right. So that's it. That's it from my side. Okay, I hope you guys all enjoyed the session. I can see your comments as well. Okay, this YouTube algo is so weird actually. Oh my god. All right, so if you guys have any further questions, feel free to ask. Where the YouTube algo? I guess tell us more about Code with Sarah. Yeah, sure, Arij. So regarding Code with Sarah was actually founded in October 2024. Uh, we have been around since almost a year. Okay, not exactly, but almost. And we've been hosting several boot camps and workshops and everything since a while now. We also did some in person events. We actually did an event at LAU, Beirut campus, and we also did an event at AUB. So far, we did two events in person, and the rest of our sessions were online. Yeah, Hassan. Yeah, we actually started it on ADA Level Says Day, which is in October 13, actually. So, you guys, I'm not sure if you're familiar with her. She's actually the first programmer, a woman programmer, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I believe there aren't any further questions. We usually host events, workshops, etc. And currently, we are running a training program, both in front end development as well as back end development. We have around 7 students, and the training program has been going since basically since December, actually. All right. Please, guys, don't make any weird comments in the live chat because I'm not about YouTube banning me. The account is still fresh, the algorithm is weird, and it can ban us at any minute. So I would need 2 months to actually verify the account. I don't want to be banned. And you obviously want to attend the recorded sessions. So please don't post any weird comments in the live chat. Okay, we're gonna be deleting those. What's the reward for the winners and how many winners? We'll ask Almo. We'll ask Almo how many winners we'll be picking. Regarding the reward, we're gonna be announcing it on Saturday. All right. So okay, I believe this is it. I believe no further questions. Make sure to follow me, subscribe, and all. As mentioned, this is a new account. We actually did it 2 weeks ago. And so far, we had 186 subscribers, which is amazing. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate your support and everything. Okay. Have you helped with landing internships? Yes, actually, I do one-on-one mentorship sessions. Currently, I'm not having any, but I will be available in September for those sessions. So you can book that. And for all of the people that actually participated in the Graph Mini Challenge, you are all eligible for a one-on-one free session. All right. So yeah, I believe this is it from my side. If you guys have any further questions, feel free to ask. If not, then good luck in the competition. And may the best team wins. Okay, so that's it. Best of luck, everyone. Have a great evening.